Okay, in this video, we will see what we have to do for the post route. So for post route, basically you have to sign up an admin. Okay, to sign up an admin, what all you need to do? Basically, you have your backend. Okay, this is your backend, and you are from the front end. You are getting from the browser. You are getting the request to add an admin. So from the front end, what you are getting, you will be getting a HTTP post method. In the HTTP post method, basically they will give you the username and password for admin. Okay, so this is what they will be giving. Okay, so you will get the username and the password. Okay, so once you get the username and password, right? So what you need to do? So in the back end, Express is there. We are using Express framework, and we have our application. Okay, so Express framework is there, our application is there. So basically, we need to tell Express to call a particular function in our application. Okay, so we need to have a mechanism to tell Express, right, to call some function in our application. And in that function, what all you have to do? Basically, you will have a database. So let's take that function as admin sign up. This is admin sign up. Okay, in this, what all you need to do? You basically first need to find whether the admin already exists or not. If already your admin exists, then you need not add. You just need to return admin already exists. You just need to return admin already exists. Admin exists message. Okay. If the admin is not there, then you have to add the admin to the database to DB to database. Okay, and then what you need to do is, see, once the admin is added, right, after that the admin will be asking for many things, right? He will be asking for to get all the course details. He will request for many other things. So we have to authorize the subsequent request. So we cannot give all the course information to anybody. The admin will be sending some request to create a course. We cannot allow everybody to create a course. Okay, so every time the admin cannot send the username password in every request to authorize himself, right? I am the admin, this is my username password, add this course. Because in the request, if the username and password is there, then everyone can see that. So we should not allow that. For that, what you do is, so while signing up itself, we basically create a token using JWT, JSON Web Token module. We create a token using JWT, and then after adding to the database, you send a response, and in the response you send that JSON Web Token. So while adding this username password, you send a response, and in the response you send the JWT. So the front end stores the token, and after that, if you want to add a course, right, it will, while sending this request in the HTTP header itself, it will send the token also. So here we will receive the token, and you can validate. Okay, from the token you can get the admin. From the token you get the admin, and you can validate whether admin is there or not. Okay, if the admin is there, then you can add the course. So this token is basically used to identify the particular user for validation, right? Whether the particular request, whether we can honor that particular request, right? If somebody is asking to create a course, right, we have to check whether it's an admin or not. So for that, we use a token to find out is an admin or not. So this is what are the things we need to do. So first thing what you need to do is, before this function has to be called, right? If once this function is called, you can basically do all these things. Okay. So as we discussed in the folder structure, this function should be in the controller folder. Okay. Okay. So, and then so you have to add to a database, right? For that, you need to create a schema, right? You need to tell what you're going to add. You're going to add username and password. So username is a string, password is a string. So what is the structure of the data in the database? For this, you need to create a schema. That code will be part of your model folder. Okay. And then when you get a request, right, this particular function has to be called, correct? In the controller, this function has to be called, correct? And for that code, right, that will be there in the routes folder. For a particular route, call this function, that will be there in the routes folder. And in your main file, right, which is app.js, in your main file basically you will basically tell that for this for all the admin routes, this is admin, for all the admin routes, use a particular router. In these routes, right, there will be a lot of routes. Use a particular route, set of routes for this route. This is what it will say in the main file. So we will see the code of how this is implemented. As I told you, right, this is a main file, app.js. In the app.js, we are basically, app is nothing but your express. App.use is used to specify a middleware, right? Basically, app is the express, right? Here you are basically telling the express, right? You are telling the express here. You are informing express for this route, right? In the www.freshkite.com/admin. Okay, any domain name, right? In our case, it can be localhost also /admin. If this is a route, we have to use this set of routers, and this is imported from your routes. So all the routes for this one will be present in this file, this admin route.js. Okay, so if you go to this admin route.js, what you're doing here, what you're doing here is basically we are creating a router, right? So this is a post route, right? We are adding a username password. So this router dot post and sign up, call this function. This is how you're telling the express. So if any request comes like /admin/sign up, for /admin, this is the routes using. We are exporting this the router only. This is there can be many number of routes. Okay, here we can have many routes like this, right? Okay, this for login, call login, and this is you can have a get also, get or put for get, basically call get admins. So different functions can be called. So these are all the routes you are specifying here. Okay, so if you have, in case if you have in your URL, right, if you have your domain name freshkite.com or any domain /admin/admin. So for /admin, this is a set of routes we are registered. Okay, and then /signup now this function will be called if it is a post method. If it is instead of /signup, if it is a login, now this function will be called. This is how from our application we are registering with Express framework. For this set of endpoints, right, in the URL, call this set of functions. Okay, so express will take care of calling the appropriate function. Where is this function implemented? We have to implement that in the controller folder, and that is what important. So this function is implemented in the controller folder. So in the controller folder, the sign up, right? We have this function. So what you do, as I told you, right? If the admin is already present, we just need to return already present, right? So how it is done? First, you have to get in the request, you get the username password, right? First, you have to extract it. So it is coming in the HTTP request. The data can come in the body or in the header or in params. So now you are sending the data in the body, right? Username and password. So from the body, you are getting the username and the password. Okay, I'm storing in an object. The username alone, I'm storing it separately in a different variable. Okay, and then I am using the admin model. Admin model is basically the model is used to interact with the MongoDB database. Okay, so how you create a model? To create a model, first you have to define the schema. So from mongoose, you can do a mongoose.schema. Here you have username and password, and both are strings. So you first create a schema, and using the schema, you can create a model using the model function. Okay. So when you do this, a collection in the name of admins, S will be added here. Admins will be created in the database. Okay, and this is the admin model. This model is what is used to interact with the database, to add an entry, to find a particular entry is present or not. Okay, and you use this to interact with the database. Okay, so basically you go to the controller, and how you do that is, let me rub this off. Okay, so to create an entry, right, what you need to do is simple. First here, this is where I'm creating the token. So now how this function is getting called? You have already told Express here, right? You already told Express that call this function for that particular route. This is what he saw. So Express is calling that function, and for that function, you have it will have two params. One is the request and one is the response, right? These params are passed by Express. So Express is only calling this function. So this is passed here. Okay. So what Express does, when it gets a request, it is getting this username password, put it in the request.body. Okay, and it is calling our function, and in the request.body you will have this data which is filled by the Express. Okay, now you have the data. Okay, and then you are using the model now to find any entry is there or not. So for this user, right, the what are the entry, what are the in the schema, if you see, right, in the schema, what is the name of the data is user and pass. Okay, so you basically whether you are checking for this user any entry is available or not. If this entry is available, okay, this returns a promise, right? This find one returns a promise. Dot, then you put and call a function. Okay, so that is how this function gets called. And if admin is found, this admin will be true. This whatever passed, right? This will be true. If the admin is found, what you are sending? You are in the, what we need to do is you have to send a HTTP response back, right? To send a HTTP response back, what we need to do is this response data, right? That we have to fill it. In the HTTP response, what will be there? There will be status, there will be data, right? How to fill it? You just fill it response dot status, and you put the status here, and dot JSON. This is the data. Message is admin already exists. You are converting this. This is basically an object, right? This is basically a JSON object. You're converting the object to a JSON, and you are filling this data, response data. Okay, when the function returns, what will happen? The Express, right? It will get this status and this data from this variable, and this express will send the HTTP response back. So from our application, what we need to do to send a response? Just fill this response. That's it. We are good. Okay. So that is why using the framework, our life becomes very simple to send a HTTP response and all. Okay. Okay. So now if the admin is present, you are sending a thing. Otherwise, what you're doing, as I told you, in the response, we have to send a token. So I'm using the JWT model to create a token. I installed JSON web token for this, and I have imported it. Okay, this module I have installed and I have imported it. So what to create a token? What I need to do is so simple. I just need to do JWT sign. Okay, here I need to pass for which user I am creating the token, right? So this is the username, right? And I am putting is an admin, role is admin. I'm creating a token. While creating a token, I need to pass a secret key. The secret key can be any string. Okay, and how long it is valid? It is valid for 1 hour. Expires in 1 hour. So it will expire in 1 hour. Till 1 hour only this web token is valid. Okay, so I created a token now. Second, I need to put this data, right? Username and password. Now the data is not present. I need to update in the database. For that, how you have to use in Node.js is basically you need to create an object for your model and you need to pass the actual data. Data is already available here. This will return an object, right? You just need to put the dot save. This will save in the database. This data will be saved in the database. After you save, what you have to do? You just need to respond. In this case, you have to respond with status code 200 because it is successful. And what I'm doing is here. This is the message. This is an object I'm setting in the message, right? When you do like this, what happens is what is message? This message is a variable and the value is admin created. So how this JSON will be formed is MSG colon admin created. Then token, right? Token colon, what is the value of the token? Then the value of token will be there. That is how message will be sent back. Okay. So now let's try to use Postman and send a message and see how it works. Okay. Now we'll go to the Postman and we'll try to send a data. Okay. So in the Postman, okay, where my application is running here in the local machine only. So it will be localhost colon 5000 is the port number and slash admin slash signup is the route. Okay, and I have to add a username and password. So I'm sending it as username and password. This is a username and password. I have to use raw and in JSON format I'm setting. Okay, so when I send it, I'm getting an error. So just see the error, cannot read the properties of undefined. Okay, so if I go here, so just see what is the error, cannot read the property of reading username. So basically we have reached the route. Okay, basically this print is coming. We have reached the route, but in the request.body nothing is there. Request.body is undefined. Okay, okay, the reason for this error is basically right. You see in our backend we have the Express and we have our application. Okay, okay, this is Express, right? So HTTP request is coming to the Express, correct? And it is calling our routes. So before calling our routes, right? Basically, how the data is in JSON format. The username password is in JSON format, right? So before calling our route, it has to call some other function. Okay, that function, right? That function, what it has to do is it has to convert the JSON data. It has to get the JSON data and it has to put the data in the request dot body, and then only you have to call the route. So the function which is called before the actual route, right? This function, this is called middleware. Okay, this is called middleware. Okay, so this is called middleware. So we have to tell Express that call this middleware function which will parse this JSON data, and then it will fill in the request.body and then call my route. So how to do that? You have to, so all the middleware you have to use app.use. So app.use, okay, express.json. So you are just specifying one function here. Okay, we are restarting it. Okay, so this is how I am telling the Express, right? Use this middleware so that this middleware will be called before my routes. Okay, so now let me try to run the function again. But still I'm getting this error. Okay, the reason is you have to tell Express before mentioning our route. This middleware has to be called before our route. Okay, so now let's save it. Service restarting. Okay, service using content database. Now let me try to add it. Now it is added. So what we getting in the reply? Go to your admin controller. Okay, we are. I'm basically forming the data, right? I'm displaying the data here. See the data here. Username is skballrec learn fresh, and that is what you passed. skballrec2 and learn fresh. Okay, that is that you are able to see this, and then this function is called create admin is called. skballrec2 is not there. Okay, so you are creating a token here, and you are saving that in the database, and you are replying. So when you are replying, right, this message is what admin created. But so how it is going? It is coming as message colon the data, and token colon the data in the token. That is how it comes. Okay. So in case, right, so you need not again give like this, right? This is a short form of doing it. If the variable name should be the key, you can just give like this. If you want a different name, then you have to give like this. Message colon, use the access message. Okay, now save it. Now if you give like this, so connection to the database is taking time. Okay, so now if I try to save the same data again, now it is already exists, it's coming. Now if I change it and try to send, so now see message is coming because we have put message here. Okay, so this is how you send a response back. Okay, now you can go check the database. This is the database. Go and my database is co-selling app. In this database, I have this admin collection. Okay, how this admin collection came? So there are two entries: skballrec2 and skballrec. How this admins, how this co-selling app database is created? This is created because here while connecting to the database, right, I have mentioned to create a database name course selling app. Okay, with the URL, this is the URL. With this, I also mentioned what database to create. Okay, and how the collection is created, because here we're creating the model. I have given the name admin, and a S will be added to it. Like that, I can have collections for. I will have collections for users, and I will have collections for posts, which we'll see in the next video.